Alright, at first glance it may look like we're looking at a new versus old fan video, but no, that's not quite the case here. Well, it is the case, but it's not really. The whole plot of the video here is not to do a comparison of old versus new. This is more or less a comparison of the motors themselves. And maybe I'll do another one of this at some point, but I figured this would make an interesting comparison. Now the Lakewood over here is a typical early 2000s brace-bladed wonder with the typical little motor, split capacitor motor. The capacitor is right there. Versus this old Kmart fan with a, believe it or not, split capacitor motor. This one's a Samsung motor. Lakewood used these for a very brief time in mid-80s, like 87 I believe, 86, 87, when they were transitioning into these smaller cabinets with the smaller shaft Macmillans. They were doing some really weird experiments, this being one of them. And yeah. Now I have a full cabinet one of these with the same motor. I don't know, that one doesn't have a date code on it, but this one does. I'll see if I can, yeah, November of 87. And you can see 1.2, wait, no, focus, you piece of crap. Model 12338, blah, blah, blah. 4.5 microfarads. Quit doing that stupid thing. Focus. Oh my god, piece of junk. 1.2 amps. Okay, there we go. That's what I was trying to find. But basically, this is a third generation Kmart 3-speed box fan with the third gen blades. The interesting thing about this fan is the blade actually screws onto the shaft instead of it being pressure fitted like most of these were. These are a really odd breed of fan, in my opinion. It was in kind of an experimental era for Lakewood, I guess. And I don't know what the outcome was supposed to be, if they were going to like move over these motors originally and decided to go back to the Macmillans, or if this was just some kind of weird stopgap thing. But nevertheless, it exists, and it's here. And we're doing a comparison with the more modern equivalent. Which this one, I don't know what the amps on this motor are. That's the capacitor values and crap. It is a, I don't know if I'll be able to read it. Blah, blah, blah. I can't see an amp rating on there. 1.2 amps. And this one was what, 1.4? I think. Look again. 1.2. So, oddly enough, they both have the same rating, which I was not really expecting. But the question is, which one's better? I mean, honestly, they're both not bad. This one's a little bit better, but this one ain't that bad, honestly, either. Lakewood was still using pretty good steel frames. I mean, they're the same exact metal. This one's thicker than this one, but that's just because this one's a 200i and that's a 223. But anyway, let's start them on low. Now I can tell you now, the 3rd gen is a quieter fan. This ain't that loud either, honestly. They both run about the same RPM, from what I can tell. I think this one runs a bit faster than that one does. I think there's a little bit more air coming out of that than there is that on low. This is moving okay breeze. This one seems to move a more consistent breeze. Go to medium. Medium speed seems about similar. It's moving about the same air as that's moving a tiny bit more. That's moving a pretty good breeze though. I wish I had an airflow tester. Seems pretty good. That one's moving a little bit more. Go up to high. Hopefully they don't tip over. High speed. And off. I know a lot of people knock these brace bladed fans, but honestly, they're not bad. At least these older ones. Now this thing has a long coast down. But honestly, I'd say the comparison's about the same. They were pretty much doing the same thing in '87 that they ended up doing in 1998. Or 97, I guess, is when these started coming out with the not thermally protected, split capacitor motors. And anyone that really knocks these, I mean, these aren't great fans. They're nothing compared to these. But for what they were not bad. And honestly, this is a lot better than the later ones that came after it. The last versions of these fans were not great. They kind of sucked. And they didn't move quite as much air as this one does. Maybe that'll be another comparison for another day. But for now, there's that. And thank you for watching.